Hey Faithful, welcome back to the Saloon presented by Cisco. I'm your 49ers team reporter, Briana Jeannel, coming to you after a Week 1 win over the Seattle Seahawks. In today's episode, we are covering the top takeaways from that Week 1 win. We're going to be bringing you into the biggest moments from that game, and later in this episode, we are going to be previewing what to expect in Week 2 against the New Orleans Saints. First up, Larry Krueger brings his insight on what happened in Week 1. Now joining me on the Saloon is the host of The Krug Show, a host on KNBR. He's recapping everything that went down on Sunday, our special guest, Larry Krueger. Larry, thanks for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. Now, the 49ers opened this season with a tough win in Seattle. We got the dub. That's what matters here at the Niners. So tell me your biggest takeaways from that Week 1 game.
Well, I know Brock Purdy had a couple bad passes, but I thought he was incredible. I thought that was one of the best performances I've seen from him outside of a couple of errant passes that were picked off. I thought he moved well. He made great decision after great decision. There was one play he was blitzed off the corner. He threw into the void and found Jennings. He had a number of plays where he found Pearsall. He hooked up with Kittle on that first touchdown. It was very much a timing throw. I felt like Brock threw with the best anticipation I've seen him throw in a long time. So, we are not surprised, right? Because we were out there all summer and saw it every day in practice. But I think for the fans, I think they got a chance to see him really on top of his game. And then, of course, he had two passes that I'm sure he wishes he had back. But he was perfect on the last drive, and he threw the game winner. So I thought my number one takeaway was Purdy really looks sharp.
Yeah, that 95-yard drive to start the game, that really set the tone for the contest. What did you think about how the offense got moving just right out the gate?
Well, it was great to see, especially since they're down some weapons. I really think Demarcus Robinson, Briana, is going to be a major player for this team once he comes off the suspension. But to not have him, no Ayuk, JJ kind of just without training camp, and then to lose Kittle early and to still get the thing going, I thought was impressive. Ricky Pearsall is clearly making a gigantic step from year 1 to year 2, and it couldn't have happened at a better time. So, and then of course, Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey is a force, and there was a question, was he going to go? Was he not going to go? And he went, and he, counted for well over 100 yards, almost 150 yards. And he just looked very much like Christian McCaffrey.
Yes, I was just about to bring up Christian McCaffrey. He contributed in the run game and through the air. What did you think of the Niners' run game in this contest against the Seahawks?
Well, it was going to be a challenge. Seattle's going to be one of the better defenses the 49ers face. And Seattle loaded the box. They were absolutely challenging the 49ers. This was a real head knocker of a game. Seattle ran for 5 yards a carry in the preseason, and the Niners kind of shut them down in this game. And then conversely, the 49ers struggled to run the ball at times in the preseason, but I thought at times ran the ball effectively in this game. And I thought maybe the key drive for the 49ers was in that third quarter when Shanahan really dedicated the game plan to the run. And I think they had like 6 or 8 out of 9 plays were running plays, and they really pounded the run. I really felt like that's where the Niners regained the momentum and the time of possession advantage. And then in the fourth quarter, I think that extra juice that they had from winning the time of possession advantage may have won them the game.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's look at the other side of the ball. Rookie safety Marques Sigle made some big plays in his first NFL start. How encouraging was his performance for this defense?
Oh, he's so spectacular. What a gift he has been. He's 4.3 speed, great coverage ability, really good nose for the football, is absolutely in the right place at the right time. You would, if you watched him, if I told you, hey, that guy's a 5-year veteran, you would not bat an eye. You'd be like, yep, I can see it. He knows where to be. He's very instinctive. All these guys are prospects, and they all need to get better. And I'm sure if we talked to Bullocks, he would tell you he needs to do this and this and this. But for most rookies to be able to step out of a day 3 draft choice and right in week 1 and make the kind of impact that he made, he played every snap. He got one of the highest PFF grades. I thought Sigle was really impactful.
Nick Bosa closed it out with a sack and a fumble recovery. What did that moment say to you about how this defense can finish games?
Well, Nick Bosa is really intent this year on getting to another level and really becoming, back to the player that he was when he was the Defensive Player of the Year award winner. And um, how does he do that? Well, he can do it through volume, or he can also do it by the timing. And I just thought that he dominated at the end there. He had several good plays that helped the 49ers get off the field on third downs. But what he unleashed in the fourth quarter was just amazing. That bull rush of the right tackle right into Sam Darnold, I thought really was maybe one of the best plays. I mean that, and then to just see the ball pop out and then to fall on it. I mean, you get the hat trick, right? You get the sack, the strip fumble, and the fumble recovery, and those are the kinds of plays that win you games. And it was great to see. And if he can make those kinds of plays weekly and stay healthy, I mean, the 49ers could have a lot of wins this year.
I know you like to talk about the trenches. Let's talk about offensive lineman Colton McKivitz. He just locked in a 3-year extension here with the 49ers. From your perspective, what does McKivitz bring to this O-line, and how important has his growth been for this team?
Well, I mean, he's just one of the rocks of the team. I mean, I think Shanahan described him as the most reliable player on the team. He's a great athlete. He was a high school, basketball All-American. He was All-State basketball player. He's very athletic, great feet. I mean, this is a guy who has been, he was coveted by the Niners. They had their gold helmet designation when they drafted him, and then they waived him at one point, and he had to kind of persevere. And he deserves every penny. I mean, he's getting a really good. The Niners are getting a really good deal because the tackle market is exploding, and they're getting a really solid player. Yes, what are they getting? I mean, he has not missed a start since they put him in the lineup in 2023. He's never missed a start, and everybody who plays football knows it's painful, right? So if you've never missed a start, that means he plays hurt, and he's played at an increasingly high level, and I think he's primed for his career year.
Absolutely earned it. A few guys are working through some things as we enter week 2. George Kittle is officially on injured reserve. The 49ers signed wide receiver Kendrick Bourne. How do you view the depth of this roster entering week 2, Larry?
Well, I mean, Bourne's going to help. I mean, there's no question about that. I mean, he's a veteran receiver. He had a foot injury, but I think he's over that. He knows the system. They're really excited to have him. He's really excited to be there. I mean, he's always been a great fixture in the locker room as far as high energy, high character guy. I think he's really going to give this offense a lift. He's a big game guy. He'll make big catches. He's got good ball skills. He can catch the ball and take a good hit and hold on. So, and for some of the younger receivers, the Jordan Watkins of the world, having another proven veteran in the room might really benefit them. So I think he's going to help the Niners. I really do. I think he's going to give them, some good football. I don't know that he can run the way he used to run, but I think he's got productive days ahead.
Awesome. Well, Larry, after breaking down the tape on everything that happened on Sunday, what do you want to see from this Niners team against New Orleans?
Well, New Orleans in their first game against Arizona did have 5 sacks, and Cam Jordan, the former Cal Bear, is really playing at a very high level. I mean, he's playing at terrific level. So I'm looking for this 49er offensive line. The big question of the week is Ben Barch at left guard. He's got a knee issue coming out of week 1. Is it going to be him, or is it going to be Connor Colby making his first career start? And either way, the Saints defensive line produces a lot of pass rush. So it's a big, whether Mac Jones is in there or if it's Brock Purdy, the offensive line is going to be tested. It's another loud place. It's a tough place to play, especially if the crowd's roaring. So I think if the 49ers could take the crowd out of it early, that would help. But I think it's going to be a real challenge for the 49er offensive line to block this Saints front.
All right. Well, our eye will definitely be on the trenches in this contest. Larry, thank you so much for joining me on the Saloon today.
Absolutely. Anytime.
And now we'll take you on the field with the 49ers in their victory over the Seahawks in Seattle. Listen in to hear all the sounds from the sideline. And later, I catch up with one of the biggest players from the game, safety Marques Sigle, in a post-game interview presented by Lexus. Check it out.
Kramer's out today. Yeah. Kramer's out. Showtime.
I feel great. Look at all this rain. Look at all this rain. That's what I need. I need all this. Small, consistent steps in the right direction lead to great results. Like he said, this is the first step in that long journey. There's a bunch of little steps today in this game. Take advantage of each op, be violent, test the three! Nice.
Lay your mind, avoid distraction. All right, offense, protect the football with your life today. Finish everything. Defense, go attack every single play. We need all of them. Let's go. Down, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right down. Go down. Right down. Right down. Right down. Right down. Go. Hey, best in the world on 3. 1, 2, 3. Best in the world. If we gonna accomplish what we want to accomplish, this don't start right here. Hey, play through the scheme, play together, communicate the noise. Let's go now. Let's go. Hold on, 3, 1, 2, 3. Game 1, 1-0. Let's get it started. Come on, kick it off. Let's go, man. Hey, stay locked in. All right, stay locked in. I got you, baby. Let's ball. Let's ball.
First third down for the Seahawks. He got hit as he threw. Still caught. Rookie Marques Sigle all over him.
Nice job. Nice job. Nice serve. Nice series. Nice.
Trying to go the distance on the opening drive. There's Kittle. He's got it. Niners go 95 on their first drive of the season.
Be great. Be great tacklers in space. Great tacklers in space. I'm coming.
Really good defensive scheme.
Walker got pummeled at the line of scrimmage. It was Fred Warner in there with Jordan Elliott, and it's 3rd and short. From the San Francisco 45, Sam Darnold in the Seahawks debut. Quickly outside, Smith and Jigba. Lost the football. San Francisco's got it. The rookie Marques Sigle.
Come on. Hey, good things happen when you get to the ball, big dog. Good things happen. See ball, get ball.
Purdy keeping it alive. Brock Purdy lofts one. It is Tonjes. Touchdown, San Francisco. Jake Tonjes, who had never caught a pass in the NFL, has caught 3 today, including the go-ahead touchdown with 1:34 left. Wow.
Come on, Bird.
Hell of a catch.
All right, defense. We got to go take this from them. They ain't going to give it to us. Y'all got me?
First game as the OC here. Sends in a call for 2nd and 4. Darnold. Hit as he let it go. The ball is loose. The 49ers have it. It's Bosa. And the 49ers closing the door on the Seahawks.
First one, many more to come. Promise you that. Yeah! Dub City! Dub City!
I'm standing on the field with rookie safety Marques Sigle right after the Niners' 17-13 win in Week 1. Marques, how does it feel in your first NFL start to walk away with a win?
It's a blessing. I dreamed of this moment. I've been working for this moment to get here. So all glory to God. I'm going to give it to him because without him, I wouldn't make it this far. So he gave us this win. We still got a lot of work to do, and we're going to get back to that coming up this next week.
Now tell me about the pregame. Walk me through your mindset knowing that you're going to start in this game.
It's super easy. Just do your job. We always preach about that. If you do your job, everything's going to turn out good. So I did my job today, and we ended up getting a dub.
You did your job. You came up big with a fumble recovery. Walk us through that play.
I was on the opposite side, and then they ran a screen away. And they always say, get to the ball. So I finished to the ball, ended up getting it.
Now, how do you build off this momentum as you look towards New Orleans next week?
Just building our chemistry. I feel we need to be more vocal out there as a team, especially on the defensive side, and just fix the mistakes after we watch film, and then we're going to put it together next week for New Orleans.
Nice. Marques, congrats on your first win.
Thank you.
Now, joining us on the Saloon to preview Week 2 against the Saints is New Orleans team reporter Erin Summers. Erin, thanks for joining us on the Saloon.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here. It was a fun Week 1. I know we both had some drama in our games. Looking forward to Week 2.
Now, how excited are you for Week 2 at home against the Niners? What's the vibe like around the team after Week 1, especially under a new coaching staff?
I think that's what everybody was waiting for, is what this team was going to look like under new head coach Kellen Moore, the new offensive coordinator in Doug Nussmeier, and then you have the new defensive coordinator in Brandon Staley. We've seen a little bit of it during preseason, hadn't seen all the pieces in play yet. And we got a good taste of things on Sunday's game against the Cardinals to open things up. It was a little tough at times. I mean, there are growing pains, first game pains, some penalties and things that they're going to want to clean up. But people walked away from the game, I think, pleasantly surprised, because the national media has really written the Saints off this season, and the Saints made a game of it. They came back in the last few seconds of the game and almost tied things up or had the possibility to go on and win. So I think the fight that the team showed and the way that quarterback Spencer Rattler led the team left fans with a good taste in their mouth after Week 1.
Yeah, nice. Kellen Moore is running the show now. What's your take on how his team is coming together so far?
The team has absolutely loved Coach Moore. It's been a breath of fresh air for all of them. Everyone has a clean slate. They're learning a new scheme. They really love that he is a former player. He played at a high level, played in the NFL as a quarterback. He's extremely talented and smart. And he really wants to make sure that he's maximizing the time for the players, making sure that they're not here at the facility for a long time. They're taking care of their bodies. He's able to get out a lot of information in a short amount of time, and he has an answer for everything. So if a player has a question about something, he doesn't say, well, just I'm the head coach and that's what you have to do. He gives you a very detailed reason as to why he sees it that way. And I think that the players really respect that, because he's showing respect in them and wanting them to understand the process as well. So the buy-in has been pretty much immediate. They really like what he's brought to this team, and you cannot argue against his skill level. He's coming from a Super Bowl team with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's done great things with the Chargers and the Cowboys. So he has been around a few different good coaches and some good offenses, and now this is his chance to lead the whole thing himself.
Definitely. Now let's dig a little bit deeper into your offense. Spencer Rattler is in at starting quarterback. What was his performance like in Week 1 against the Cardinals, and how should he fare against San Francisco?
I think they started off the season pretty conservative in not asking too much of quarterback Spencer Rattler. He did start 6 games last season, albeit the entire team was injured and he wasn't put in the best position to succeed with the pieces he had around him. This year, coming out of the gate, Week 1, he knew he was the starting quarterback for this team. They schemed around him, and they were able to drop a game plan that allowed him to be successful. He was able to use his legs some. He was able to make some shorter intermediary passes and not take too much risk, which set him up for success. He didn't have a single turnover, no interceptions, threw for over 200 yards. He threw 46 times, which is crazy for a young starting quarterback to actually ask them to throw that many times. I think they probably would have leaned more into their run game had they not been playing from behind towards the end of the game and having to kind of catch up in that area. But to trust him to do that is huge. And as the game went on, they started to open things up a little bit. So I think we're going to see even more from Rattler in Game 2 because of the confidence that he instilled in people around him in Game 1.
Now, tell me about your receiving core, those weapons that Spencer can target. What's the health of that group and their expectations for Week 2?
The wide receiver group is extremely fast. They like to get down the field, and that's something we didn't see in Week 1 because, as I said, they were trying to keep the passes shorter, easier, not take as many risks. So they didn't really send anything downfield. I think we might see a little bit of that in Game 2. You have Chris Olave, who's coming off of missing half the season last year because of 2 concussions, but he is doing well this year. He's feeling good. He did go out a couple times in the game, take some big hits, left for a couple plays, called it a chest injury, but They said he's fine and he should be good to go this weekend. Rashid Shaheed is another one of those speedsters. He's probably the fastest on the team and somebody that likes to line up and just run. So we'll see if he's able to connect with Rattler this weekend. And then you have Brandon Cooks, who they signed as a vet in the room, and he does a little bit of everything. We might see a couple other receivers this week. Devon Vele was signed from the Broncos right before the end of preseason, so he's still getting acclimated with the team, but he is a bigger target, 6'5", somebody they'll look to in the end zone. Because Vele wasn't playing, Juwan Johnson, our tight end, is another big body target, and he is somebody who had a really good game. Big person as far as blocking goes in that regard, but then also has the ability to be one of those receiving threats as well.
Now let's look at the other side of the ball with defensive coordinator Brandon Staley. He's very familiar with the Niners. He worked on staff here last season. How have you seen the defense grow under his leadership so far, and what's your take on the defense?
Overall, this is very different than anything we've seen here with the Saints for quite some time, early 2000s. We have been running a 4-3. Brandon Staley comes in and changes it to a 3-4. So that immediately is different for these players. You're lining up with your 3 inside defensive linemen. You brought in a nose guard in Devon Godchaw, who is made for this type of scheme. He has a big body in front and he can take on double teams. And then you let the guys on the outside. I mean, they're able to fall back in coverage. They're able to go and rush, and that's your defensive ends. And Cam Jordan and Chase Young, he dealt with an injury, was out in game 1, so we're kind of watching him. But Carl Granderson was on the other side, and Carl Granderson had the most passes defensed in the game on Sunday. He had 2, and for a defensive end, he had no problem dropping back in coverage and creating disruptiveness in that part of the game as well. He also had 1.5 sacks. So he was kind of flying all over the place. The linebackers really like this scheme because they're able to sit behind those linemen and really watch the quarterback. That's the key in this scheme is they play a lot of zone. Your eyes are on the quarterback. You have ability to make plays, but you have to work with your teammates. The communication is huge to make sure that everything is covered. And that's where I think sometimes people question the ability to defend the run because you are so keyed in on the quarterback and where he's going and what he's doing. They showed a pretty good ability to stop the run. There was one big chunk play on Sunday against the Cardinals. It was for 52 yards, so it was definitely a big run. But overall, they did pretty well against the run. So I know we got a dual threat back that we're going to have to worry about this weekend in Christian McCaffrey. So I think that will be who they're keyed in on this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. You just mentioned a few defenders that really stood out in week 1, but which matchups are you really looking towards against San Francisco, whether that be players or position groups?
Yeah, I think that it's going to be key, again, for the offensive line to perform well. I think, and Kellen Moore has said this often, that he wants to build the team through the trenches. So that's inside out. He needs the offensive line to play well. They only allowed 1 sack last week, which gave Rattler time to make his decisions, even though he does make very quick decisions. It's always helpful in establishing a run game as well. I think they're going to want to lean into that a little bit more to just help Rattler continue to have that safety net. And then defensively, they're going to want to apply pressure, regardless of who is at quarterback, whether it's Brock Purdy or if it's Mac Jones. And they're going to have to find a way to slow down Christian McCaffrey, especially with the injuries that the 49ers are dealing with. Don't know who's going to be on the field per se, but knowing that Kittle's not going to be there is maybe some more Ricky Pearsall or Kendrick Bourne got signed. So there's a couple other options, but Christian McCaffrey is for sure the one that you're going to have to watch out for. And I think the key is making sure that he does not get any yards after contact, which he's very good at doing. So tackling, you're looking at your linebackers, really making sure that he's not getting into the second level.
That dual threat back, Christian McCaffrey, is definitely going to be leading this offense in New Orleans. Now, how exactly does Brandon Staley's defense stop a player like McCaffrey? What are the keys in the run game there?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You don't want to bite and send too much pressure up front and then leave yourself with holes for McCaffrey to get into. Even as I mentioned, if you do check down to him, he has the ability to break tackles and then add with his legs. So it's really about making sure that you are taking somebody down at the point of contact immediately. And they can't get infatuated with watching the quarterback and not understanding where people are going, even if it's a run play or not. So that's where the communication part comes into play. They really take pride in stopping the run. Not good at it last season, bottom of the league, 30th basically overall in run defense. So they have put a big emphasis on making sure that they don't let people beat them on their feet. And there's going to be a lot of making sure they know where CMC is before every play starts.
Yeah, well, these are all good notes to take from the opponent's perspective. Erin, thank you so much for joining us on the Saloon. I'll look forward to seeing you in New Orleans very soon.
Yeah, can't wait. Thanks for having me.
All right, Faithful, that will do it for today's episode. The 49ers versus Saints game will air on Fox. Kickoff is at 10 a.m. Pacific. Be sure to subscribe to the Saloon presented by Cisco on SiriusXM and your favorite podcast platform.